Welcome in standard tuning. I've written this out so my notes are available below the video for you to download. So in this intro, what he's doing are some hammered on notes, basically playing a triplet part of the F sharp scale into an A dyad on the 4th and 3rd string to a B dyad or 2-note chord on the 4th fret. All right, so we're going to hammer on the 5th string to start out, 2 to 4. Then we're going to quickly catch the 4th string back to 5 and 4. Then we come back to the 4th string with 2 hammered onto 4. Then we hit the 4th and 3rd string at the 2nd fret to 4th fret. So that gives us that intro, and it's semi-palm muted. And he's playing it so fast. I mean, it's one of those... Honestly, I really had to debate about what he was doing. So, here's a little tip. If that is too fast for you, practice it and work up to it. But in the meantime, if you just want to play the song, hammer 2 to 4 on the 5th string, and then hammer 2 to 4 on the 4th string twice. And then go to your A and B dyads. Again, it's not really what he's doing, excuse me, but it'll get you there if you just want to jam with the song and can't slow it down. But really, work it up with the 2 back to 4 from the 4th to the 5th string. All right, we're going to repeat, I'll call it the riff, all right, 2 to 4. Then we're going to go A to E. So we're going to hit the 4th and 3rd string to the 5th and 4th string. All right, now we're going to do the A to B again, same riff. Now we're going to do the riff, but we won't hammer on the 4th string. We're just going to go from 2 on the 4th to 2 on the 4th string to 4 on the 5th. And then just lay your finger down and catch the 4th fret of the 4th and 3rd string for a B dyad. All right, so that will repeat. So that's like the first measure. So let's do that together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then, like I said, that measure will repeat, and then we're into, this is still part of the intro. He goes into one measure of basically what we're going to do during verse 1. Let's finish out the intro before we go over what the second guitar is doing in the intro during that lick. So the intro will continue with this. Basically, you turn your guitar down maybe from 10 to about 7, and we're going to reference an E minor to a D and then a C. But we'll be playing on the 3rd and second string, leaving the first string open. So the E minor that we referenced will have the first string open, will be on the 8th fret of the second string, 9th fret of the second string. All right, that's a 4 count. Then we go to a C, so we'll be at the 5th fret of just the 3rd and 2nd string, and then first string open. Now that's a 4 count, all right? And then we come back to our E minor, and then we're gonna go to D for 2 count, and then C for 2 count. So the D will be on the 7th fret of the 3rd and 2nd string with the first string open. Alright, so that gives us that timing there, will give us the timing of the chorus, because he turns those into actual power chords. Alright, with that said, so we go through that twice. So let's do it to finish out the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we start the actual verse. So we'll repeat what we just did 2 times through. E minor to C, then E minor to D and C. All right, that's 1. Repeat that. So that's verse 1, and that leads us into the chorus. Intro guitar 2 comes in, it's just 1 measure. So the first guitar will start out for a measure, and then guitar 2 comes in with this basic octave lick, all right? And we're playing the exact same notes, but we'll be here on the 4th string starting to 11, and then when we get to the 2nd string, it'll be 10 and 12, all right? So we're gonna start out 4th string, 9 hammered into 11, to the 3rd string, 9 back to the 4th string at 11, and then 3rd string, 9 hammered into 11. Then we go to the 2nd string, 10 to 12. We'll repeat the lick. Then we come to 10 on the 2nd string, to 9 on the 3rd. So we would do the very first lick again. Now this last lick, we're going to come 9 to 11 from the 3rd to 4th string, and then we're going to hit both the 2nd string at 12 and the 3rd string at 11. It's basically forming the chord B. Because B in the D shape, we'd have C, and then we would have an octave of D. But anyhow, this would be that form. So that very last lick. And then we're on from there together. For the chorus, we're going to hit 1 mute and then 2 quick up and down muted. You can do this all on the 5th string. And then we're going to hit an E power chord. Then the same mute, 2 more muted. Do that when you're over the C. And then the C power chord, which you'll count, if you will, twice. We'll come back to our E, and then D and C. All right, so let me show you that. If you want to give it more power, you can add the 6th string muted with that 5th string. But it's really important that the 5th string be muted over the chords you're going to play, because it really adds to it. I thought it was just a 6th string muted, and when I did that, it was just missing something. So it should really sound like this, and I will go through 1 measure of it, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. after that, the second measure, the first chorus, is the only time he does this. It's kind of a little tag that leads us into verse 2. So rather than repeat that whole measure of the chorus, all right, we're going to do our C twice, all right, and then we'll come back and we start kind of like the intro, our E minor, and then we're finishing out with D to C. All right, so we've done the C with power chords twice, and then normally our power chord would go E, D, C. But just during this first chorus, he comes in with the E minor to D and C, and then starts verse 2. All right, verse 2 is basically one time through that. All right, so I know it's a lot, but let's go through chorus 1. And then we'll go right into verse 2 so you can see how it all fits together. All right. Chorus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chorus 2. Now chorus 2 doesn't have that shortened end like we did in chorus 1. After chorus 2 we go into the intro, we'll reprise that and we'll do the whole intro just like we've learned, and then we stop after that B, and then things just mellow out, and then we go into the interlude. For the interlude, we're basically referencing a B chord. Alright? We're going to be playing around with that shape. We'll be at the 3rd string at 14 and the 4th string, and 16 with the 4th and 3rd. To start out, we'll go from 16 to 14 on the 3rd twice. Alright? Now, you want to let that ring. That's part of this feel for this interlude. Then we're going to do 16 on the 3rd string to the 4th string. And we want those two to ring, but the other two to stop. So the way you do that, you can kind of cover the 14th fret of the 4th and 3rd string, but use your ring finger to cover 16 to start. So we'll go 16, 14, 16, 14. Then just lay it down, which causes the notes to stop ringing, and we'll hit the 3rd string to the 4th string at 16. So we have this. Alright, then we're going to repeat the beginning of that. Then what we're going to do is hit 14 on, instead of 16s, we're just going to exchange it for 14s. By picking off your 3rd finger, we kind of stop the ringing and can start this ringing on the 3rd at 14 to the 4th at 14. Alright, so let me show you that together. See how that technique stops the first ringing and allows the second set to ring. It's just so damn well done. What a great phrase. So that will repeat basically for 4.5 measures. And what it does after that is it starts building up. You can add the E string, but building up on the B note at 14 and the F sharp on the 4th string at 16. But it's palm muted. And And that leads you into the solo and the solo rhythm. So we'll go over the solo rhythm. I'll give you some tips on playing the solo, and then we'll finish out with the outro. So the solo rhythm is 4 measures long. We're going to do this. I'll show you one measure and then we'll go through it. All right, I did 2 measures of it there, but each measure consists of we're hitting the 6th string open, hammering onto 2, and then 2 mutes before we hit an F sharp. Then we do that 2 more times, so a total of 3. Then it's a simple A to E power chord. That will repeat, except we do A to B, and that's a full measure. All right, so we'll do that for 3 more full measures. On the 4th measure, we're going to do the A to E, but when we go to the last half, which would be normally A to B, we're just going to go F sharp quickly to B and hold that. So let me do the last measure of the solo rhythm for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is really the last part of the solo rhythm. It sounds like the verse, but it's different. So don't be fooled by this because it sounds like the verse and kind of a tag, but he does something different because it just didn't sound right to me. So, you know, working it out, what he does is kind of the opposite of what we've done. We're going to go to E minor. And instead of C for another 4 counts, he goes to D for 4 counts. 4. Then we'll go back to E minor, and instead of D to C, we're going to go C to D. So this is the end of the solo rhythm. Then we are into verse 3, which goes back normally. E minor to C for 4 counts, E minor 4 counts, D2, C2. So let's do the end of the solo rhythm. I'm going to do that last measure with the F sharp into this little ending tag and then into verse 3. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we are into chorus 3, which is just like we've learned with the chorus 2. All right, after chorus 3, we're into the outro. The first measure of the outro will come to an abrupt end at the B, so it'll sound like this. Then the last measure, which finishes out the song, we will hit the B just like we've gone through, but we don't stop. We hold it. It's basically 8 measures, and then we finish with a little lick. So I'm going to go from the B, and I'll show you the last lick. All right, So what we're doing is 2 to 4 and the 5, then 4th string. Then we go to the 3rd, 2, and then back to the 4th fret on the 4th. Then an A and B, and slide off. And there's a whole song. So, you know, again, soloing an F sharp pentatonic will get you right there. And then just take it up to, you know, 14th. And enjoy, you know, playing the song and making it yours. So I really hope this helps everybody. Great song, wonderful band, and enjoy.